Hey guys! So, did I really just start this the same way I start nearly all my community posts? Oh my goodness. Anyway, it's been a year since I made this channel start making chart views, and in that time I've amassed over 100 subscribers. Not too shabby. Anyway, I know there's been a bit of speculation over who's running this channel, and I'm sure that just from hearing me talk now, some of you already figured it out, but let me introduce myself. Hi. Surprise! It's not like this has been in the channel description since day one or something. Anyway, hi, I'm Joe99, game developer, former Fragros charter, manager of way too many wikis, and the creator and maintainer of Rizline Chart Views. Again, thank you all so much for the support. It's good to know this channel is actually being a good resource for players like I hoped it would be, and it actually helps motivate me in getting through the backlog a lot. Anyway, I asked you guys for some questions for a Q&A on a couple community posts, and you did not disappoint. So without further ado, let's answer some questions. I still ask, how do you make the videos? Now, this is actually something I was going to do in this video either way, but getting to actually format it as a question is nice, so take it away, past me. Okay, so here's how at the time of recording, I make these chart views. I say the time of recording because by the time this video goes up, I might have moved to Linux or something. So the neat thing about my process is that it's actually entirely, well, open source. Like, I use 3 programs to make my chart views, and they're all open source. So I'll introduce them as we go. But first things first is I do the actual screen recording in Screen Copy, which is just this program which you connect your Android device to your computer, and then you just run it, and ta-da! You've got like just a screen recording, like just in a window, nice and easy. So. Yep, so now I've got that up and ready to go. And then I just make a directory for the actual recordings, which I could just do in File Explorer, but I like to do it in the terminal for some reason, probably because I've already got to be in here to actually set up the recording how I like it. Yep. First thing I do is I always define the max size, which is admittedly the same size it defaults to on this USB. Which is merely the same size it defaults to with the resolution I've got this user account set to, but my main account does not do that. So this is what I do just for consistency's sake. So I have to record, and then so I have that size set, and then I record to this directory I have made in MKV file format because that's just the default. And then I just start up the chart and let it play. I don't normally just sit here and watch the chart in its entirety. I'll usually just let it do its thing and check Discord or something while I wait. And now this recording is done, I just close it and it saves the file. I move on to the next difficulty and repeat the process. Rinse and repeat until all 3 difficulties are recorded. And now that all 3 of those recordings are done, I open up Screen Copy again, usually, although this time using the default resolution. And then, and then just screenshot the difficulties, fully expanded anyway, and paste them all into GIMP. that's done, I can finally use, and at this point we are done with everything we need screen copy for, and I can finally use my actual mouse instead of the trackpad. Oh my goodness. Right then. So from here, this is the bit where I make the actual difficulty indicators shown at the top of each thing. They are literally just screenshots. I will take this screenshot, use the fuzzy select tool, select this, then use the right tool to select the actual, to include the text, invert it, delete the background, crop the content, and then just export it. Okay, yeah, that was what it was. Recording, switch to mockery. Oh my goodness. In.png. And then I just do that for the other two as well. Fuzzy select, add the text with a right select, invert, delete background, crop to content, export. I'm not entirely sure why it's got that bit up there. Because it is kind of there. I'm going to be honest, this is probably just for demonstration purposes. I'm probably going to actually go back and redo this for the chart view I'm actually going to upload to YouTube. But oh well, this at least gives you a good idea, and I'm probably going to reuse the actual recordings I got during this demo. Anyway, so got those exported. Now we move on to the third and final program I use. Hold on. Olive. This is my video editor of choice. It has not been updated in nearly a year at this point, and I do not care. It works pretty much perfectly for what I want it for. And besides, 0.3 has got to come in eventually, right? Anyway, so normally what I do here is I will grab the HD recording and then time that up because it's slightly more efficient to start with that one. But for some reason the timing on this one broke and it says 1000 FPS, but 1000 FPS, despite the fact that I only recorded it in 120. So I'll grab the in instead, automatically detect parameters, mess around with the clip duration so that it actually gets the waveform up, unlink it, and then time it. Now what I usually do for timing is I will find the frame where the first hit is, use the razor tool to cut it there, like that, and then match it up to the actual sound. Yep, that looks right. Then I will save that. One thing that I will typically do, because I have had this crap out on me a few times, is I will save after pretty much every step of the process. Okay, so I've got that saved, and now I will go into the sequence properties and change the resolution to triple what it was, so that I can fit 3 of these side by side. And because I've been doing this for so long, I have the actual X positions all memorized. So yeah. So got that done. Now I'll do easy next. Same deal. And I will just time them all up using the same method. Okay, yep, that actually did save. Good. Unlink. And because, and this is why I like to start with the hard difficulty, because because it's already going to start centered, which is where it's going to be in the recording. Now this is where things get a little bit tricky because it doesn't actually start on a note. So So I need to find the exact frame where the lines appear. There we go. Put that there, and then double check that all works. Yep, those all look synced up. Save that. Then extend these back. And now we get to the kind of annoying time bits. So I'm looking to find the frame. Yep, just about there, like the moment they start to move up. Then I jump 2 seconds back and make that the start of the video. Oh, that one didn't get caught. Yeah, there we go. Move that all back there. And now we go to time the end. Oh, whoops, I forgot those all still highlighted. Yep, so trim the audio back there. And then I figure out which one of these has its play button appear first. Looks to be the center one in this case. And then go back until I find the frame before it appears. And then cut off there. And there we go, that's the start and the end of the video done. Well, the start and ends figured out, rather. And now all that's left is the difficulty indicators. So for this, I pause like right after the difficulty indicators after the song start animation has finished. Then I put them in here. I'm not used to working with screens this small. Okay. Yep. So what I'll do is I'll do it slightly differently because it'll make it easier to see what I'm doing. So first things first, I'll go with the easy indicator. So I'll put this at the same X coordinate as its respective clip, and I'll make the Y position 60. Then I will add an opacity node so that I can make it fade in. Yep. Start at 0 opacity, have it take exactly 1 second to fade in. And there we go. Then I will copy that and paste it on the other two. And then I will go into those and adjust their positions. 2000x, 60y, and 60y with no change to the x for hard because it's already where it needs to be. And then I literally just extend these out to the duration of the video. And now we're done. Yeah, these are not very hard to make. Zenzin asks, does your back hurt from carrying the indie rhythm game scene? How does it feel working so much? Okay, but in all seriousness, it is actually pretty hectic and overwhelming. I have been trying to pull back on a lot of it, especially since I started contributing to resources like this, although not this channel specifically, back when I was in university and was much less busy, but now I have an actual paid job I need to do. By the way, I should probably bring this up. While I have worked with Pigeon Games in the past, and even got to test Rizline while it was still in development, I have had no involvement with Rizline's actual development, not coding-wise or charting-wise. As far as Rizline's concerned, I'm just a normal player like everyone else, and this channel is not affiliated with Pigeon Games in any way. Do not change the subject to us. Are you going to add some videos to be shown to the channel's homepage? ACF Taco Master asks, okay, no, I'm actually going to answer this. I don't have any plans to add any videos to the homepage yet, but I might at some point. I really don't have much to say on this one, sorry. Okay, now actually on to Taco's question. In your opinion, what makes a good Rizline chart? Any examples? I don't know if I can really pin down what makes a good chart, so I'll just go over stuff I like to see in Rizline charts. I really like it when charts leverage the way the input system works by putting in patterns that would be really unfair in other games. And I also like it when the notes move around a lot, but in a way that's still readable enough to know what you need to do, but just barely. think like the drop in abatement. Also, I am just a sucker for really cool visual moments, like a skyscraper shot in the next arcade, like just stuff that's really fun to look at. Also kind of in the same vein, charts that have lines that are the same color as the background and only get revealed when the Rizline kicks in are just like, oh my god, I love it. I should probably go over some examples of stuff I don't like as well, but honestly, I'm pretty easy to please, and there's only one thing I can think of that I haven't liked, but boy do I despise it. This moment in No Name Requiem is an utter abomination, and I don't understand why the charter thought it was a good idea. It's confusing to read, it doesn't feel fun to play, and the fact that it's unclear as to whether it's meant to be a multi-finger section or not is annoying. Actually, you know what? I do have a second thing I don't like, which is less a complaint about Rizline and more of a plea to RG does as a whole. Stop making surprise multi-finger sections! Like, I get it. Sometimes you want to spice up your chart by requiring more than 2 inputs at once. But newsflash, thumb players exist, and multi-finger sections are basically unsight readable to them. Sure, you can change up your grit to be able to play them, but you need to know they're coming first. If you want to put multi-finger sections in your charts, make a dedicated difficulty for it, or have some sort of indicator to warn about it. Either a warning in the song select like what Rising does, or if you can't do that, put a multi-finger input somewhere early in the chart to warn players that it's coming. I don't care if it's an early section that's meant to be easy and that it wouldn't fit. This is not about a balanced difficulty. This is about not springing bullshit on the players out of nowhere. Okay, sorry for that tangent. I just need to get out of my system. Let's move on. Herb asks, how many songs in Disc EX have you made any actual progress on in terms of gameplay? Well, it's not the worst. It's not like Paradigm or Kappa where I barely played any of the content I bought, but I am definitely a bit behind. To be fair, it could be worse. I was months behind on content at points, but I've caught up now and I'm only a little bit behind. Evans asks, if you could make changes to Rizline or another big indie game, which one and what would they be? Well, for the sake of this, I'm going to stick to Rizline, but, well, more content's a given, and it's going to happen anyway, and it's also not really a change. Wait, no, I've got to triple the dot gain. It's so freaking runny at the moment, it's insane, and I guess that's by design to try and push players towards buying them instead, but it's more annoying than anything. Actually, I'm going to propose another change. While I like what the game is able to do by not doing this, I feel like having some notes where you need to actually tap on the note could make for some interesting charts. Actually, no, while I'm here recording, I've got a third one I want to add. Allow players to play the free songs without needing to make an account, please. Like, I kind of get why, because you need an account to sync with the cloud and there's no local storage for anything, but at the same time, I feel like it's not really worth it for all the players you're gonna shake loose from even trying the game out. Like, there are a lot of people who will not play a game if it requires an account system. Like, I've avoided playing games for that exact reason, and if it wasn't for Pigeon Games' pedigree with Figros, I probably would have done the same here. So yeah, let players try the game out before you force them to actually make an account. And that's all the questions. Thank you all so much for them, and also for supporting this channel over the past year. As for what's coming in the future, well, assuming Rizline or I don't suddenly keel over, more of the same. I'll still be making chart views for songs as they come out, and well, I don't exactly do anything else here, do I? I am also planning on bumping up the quality a bit, not in the videos themselves, but in the rest of the channel's presentation, like setting up an actual landing page, making thumbnails, organizing the all charts playlist so it's not an utter mess, that kind of thing. Might even make a channel trailer, who knows. Anyway, that's all. Thanks so much for watching, and again for all the support, and I'll see you all in the future. Zindan asks, does your back hurt from carrying the indie rhythm game scene? How does it feel working so much? ASDF Tasko. I need a drink. ASDF Tasko. ASDF Tasko Master asks. ASDF task. It's not Tasco. What is Tasco anyway? Herb asks. Actually, is that Herb or Herb? Herb asks.